But she is only for 1 hour, she said.
Yeah,
So you'll have to be quick.
1 hour we will do. 1 hour में कम से कम 2 खत्म हो जाएंगे. Ma'am, over to.
Yeah, sure.
That is why I said हमारा book club का Nightingale मैम है.
The law of attention. Are we? Oh,
Yeah.
whatever you give attention to manifest. Whatever you give attention, it will manifest. It does not matter if it is big, small, good, or bad. Spiritual law ensures that an outcome manifests to the exact percentage you give it attention. Attention is the focus of your thoughts, words, and actions. In the material third dimensional world, there is an expression, seeing is believing. However, sages have always told us believing is seeing. See, the other way. It is not seeing even though in the third dimension, seeing is believing, but the sages always said
Expression.
believing is
So
seeing.
basically, inward out rather than outward in.
Yeah, correct. The other way. Believing is seeing. Subatomic physics is now proving what these sages and mystics have been telling us throughout the ages. The thoughts of the experimenter affects the results of the experiment. See, the thoughts of the experimenter affects the results of the experiment. Physicists tell us.
Ma'am, here it's very interesting. When it comes to food we eat, right? We apply.
Yeah.
अब किस दिमाग से खाना बनाया ये क्वेश्चन आता है डिस्कशन.
Very true, very true. Now, actually, what I have seen, if somebody is cooking and somebody is standing by, even that energy impacts the khana.
Oh yes, because their moods change accordingly, na.
Hold on, my phone fell down. Okay.
This is a very killer statement. The thought of the experimenter affects the result of the experiment.
Yeah.
यहाँ पे वो बुद्धा सीईओ का नहीं क्या वो एक्सपेरिमेंट दिखाते हैं
वो बुद्धा सीईओ का नहीं है शॉलिंगर एक्सपेरिमेंट है.
मतलब
experiment only, but during their workshop they do show this observer effect.
No, that is it. Wave becomes a dot.
So that's the same thing, the thought of the experimenter.
No, this is the thoughts of the experimenter. That is the observation.
It's a different one. This is the thoughts. That is the
इसका मतलब है जैसे सोचोगे वैसे मिलेगा. That's how it is.
जैसे करनी वैसा भरनी.
Correct. So, okay, physicists tell us that quarks are subatomic particles formed by concentrated thought. These can now be filmed. See, those are called quarks, which is formed by concentrated thoughts, quarks. These now can be filmed. When the individual no longer concentrates, then the particles disappear. Results differ according to the expectation of the experimenter. So, when the individual no longer concentrates, the particles, the quark particles disappear. And then results differ according to the expectations of the experimenter. Lives differ according to the expectations of an individual. If 10 people are in similar situation, each will hold a different picture of an outcome. Accordingly, each will create a slightly different result. You create your own reality. Science is now supporting this spiritual truth. I saw this played out recently when two people I know were each putting on an event. Rebecca was organizing quite a small event. She kept saying, there are an awful lot of seats to fill. I hope I can sell all the tickets. The cost of the advertising is too much. These thoughts diverted her attention from the outcome she hoped for. On the night, the hall was half full. Jane was organizing quite a big show. She was clear and positive. She talked about it enthusiastically. Her attention never wavered from her vision of a fabulous show played to a full house. She manifested her vision. Wow, what a see. That's why Patriji keeps saying never say no or no negative thought. The only thing that stops you manifesting your dreams is your doubt and your fear. If you give 20% focus to what you want, you will achieve 20% of your dream. If you give 100% quality focus to the outcome that you want, you will have a 100% outcome. The law of attention is exact. So we had to give 100% attention. Watch where you put your thoughts. If you are driving, you pay attention to the road ahead or you might crash. You watch the signposts so that you do not go in the wrong direction. When you focus on your driving, you get safely to your destination or in life to your destiny. As we travel the road of life, we are asked to pay attention to the whispers and hints with which the universe signs our way. If you give attention to a worry or fear, you energize it and bring it into creation. Churning worst case scenarios in your mind or continually talking about your fears are powerful ways of drawing them into your life. So if you keep thinking, if you keep getting fears about it, that means you are attracting it. A client of mine lived in great anxiety because she constantly pictured her marriage breaking up. The attention she paid to the failure of her relationship programmed her unconscious mind to act in such a way as to break up the partnership. The universe, of course, supported this by throwing challenging situations into her way. Her partner, too, was constantly picking up her psychic messages of fear and separation, which caused him to withdraw. Inevitably, the relationship ended. She fulfilled her own prophecies. This is what Seth always talks about it.
Yes.
If you have a pain in your big toe and you focus on it, you worry about it and churn over horrible possibilities, it assumes huge proportions and gets worse. If you receive a phone call bringing exciting news, it diverts your attention from your toe and the pain disappears. The positive has a more powerful charge than the negative. Focus on, think about, and talk about positive situations. So we had to focus and think and talk about only positive situations. When you hold the positive in your attention, you make your dreams come true. If you are writing a book, painting a picture, building a house, or involved in any project, keep the perfect finished result in your mind. When you hold the vision and do the necessary work, success is assured. Decide on your vision, commit to it, do the necessary work, give it full attention, and you will be amazed how your life blossoms. Here is a little word of caution.
Here. See, I've been talking about my toothache 2 weeks ago. I had a severe toothache in the middle of the night.
जी जी आपने बताया था.
The Marisa Peers.
Marisa Peers. I direct, instruct, command, commit,
code,
right?
Yeah.
And control.
Oh, control also. Okay.
The
forces,
teeth and gums system in my mouth to reset themselves to the way they were designed.
Natural state. Its natural state. Natural happy state.
I was surprised. 4 times I said that, 5th time the pain is gone. But it came back. So I started repeating it 10 times, 15 times a day. 3rd day onwards, there is no pain. I have a feeling that swelling was also gone. And you're home. So this really works.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Here is a little word of caution. When you plant a seed, you have a picture of a beautiful plant appearing at the appropriate time. Then you water it and look after it. However, you do not dig it up constantly to check that it is okay. So
Don't
pay
do that. Don't
attention.
go back to that.
Correct. Just make an assumption or and attention and just leave it.
This is amazing.
Don't keep checking. Don't keep checking.
Amazing.
So pay attention to your vision, but do not analyze it to death. So main thing is you have to pay attention,
Don't
but do
kill
not
it with your
analyze.
negative thoughts.
Correct.
Amazing.
Focus on what you want and you will get it.
That is the law of attention.
The law of flow. We live in a universe comprised of energy, which flows like a river. Nothing is static. Everything moves. Nothing and no one is separate or untouched by others. This is why a polar bear cannot sneeze in the Arctic without a grain of sand moving in the Sahara, and why loving yourself a little more affects a total stranger at the other end of the world. Wow. Loving yourself a little more affects a total stranger at the other end of the world. When a river flows, there are no empty spaces. If the flow is blocked, the river eventually overflows. Water represents emotions. If emotions are blocked, they stagnate so that relationships become stuck and stilted. This is because the blocked flow has become a stagnant pool. It is exhilarating to walk by a torrent, but it may be dangerous to swim in it in case you are swept away. If your emotions are at a torrent, then people may be frightened to come too close to you in case they drown. However, if a river is peaceful and serene and tranquility, it is safe to be bathed here.
If a river is peaceful and serene, then people want to sit by it.
Oh, yeah, correct. However, if a river is peaceful and serene, then people want to sit by it. They want to enjoy the peace, serenity, and tranquility. It is safe to bathe here. If your emotions are peaceful, tranquil, and serene, many will want to come very close to you because they will want to bathe in your aura. Your personal relationships will be good. So, watch the flow of your emotions and notice the effect it has on your relationships. The law of flow governs every area of life. A torrent of sexuality may be exciting, but it is the threatening and dangerous to get drawn into it. Where sexuality is blocked by childhood prohibitions or past life experiences, a sexual relationship is uncomfortable. If your sexuality is flowing beautifully, your sex life will be good. Does your creativity flow or is it blocked? Is your creativity a torrent of fast flowing ideas that get jumbled up and end up crashing on the rocks? Or does your creativity flow at a pace that you and those around you can handle, keeping you full of ideas and happily productive? If a cupboard is crammed full, nothing new can be put into it. If you hold, whether it is money, clothes, ideas, or old resentments, there is no space for new to come in. To allow new into your life, you must let go of the old. That's why we had to get rid of all the old furniture, old clothes, unused.
Yeah.
If you hold on to the old emotions, you are full of those old memories, which prevents fresh and happier things from coming in. If you hold on to the emotions, you are full of those old memories, which prevents fresh and happier things from coming in. As soon as you throw away unwanted stuff from your home, the law of flow will ensure that something else takes its place. It is your choice whether you replace the stuff with more stuff or shift your consciousness to attract something better. If you have the same thoughts, then the same conditions will return. If you start making changes, however small, then automatically something different has to come in. So you have to make small changes, however small, then automatically something different has to come in. Nature does not allow a vacuum, so something always moves into an empty space. Your task is to ensure it is something better. As soon as you release beliefs and memories that are no longer needed in your life, You open the gates for new to flood in. Change habits in order to bring something different in your life. It may be as simple as walking another way to work. So taking a different route. I was talking to a friend who decided that she was ready for a relationship. She had not had a relationship for a long time. I looked at her bedroom and it was absolutely full of clutter. I just raised my eyebrows and she said, "You are right." She cleared out all the clutter from her bedroom with the result that a relationship galloped into her life. According to Feng Shui, every part of your house relates to a different aspects of your life. If you have clutter or junk in the part of your house that relates to fame, then you prevent that aspect of your life from flowing. Different places relate to work, success, relationships, money, and so on. In the same way, if there is an old belief cluttering up your life, clear it out. If there is an old memory sitting within you like a boulder, write it down and burn the paper to clear it away. So if you have something bothering inside you, you have to write it down and burn the paper away. When you are physically clearing the junk out of your house, start affirming for what you wish to replace it. Start visualizing a higher energy coming into your life so that something new and more joyous flows towards you. Never clear out as a passive act. Do it with the energy that says, "I am ready now for a new in my life. This is what I want."
Very useful.
Be masterful and use the law of flow to make your life what you want it to be. Relationships prosper when there is a flow of open communication. Relationships prosper when there is a flow of open communication. Prosperity results when we balance the outflow with the inflow. Go with the flow and you will reach the source.
Beautiful.
The law of abundance. Abundance means flowing with love, joy, happiness, prosperity, success, vitality, laughter, generosity, and all the good of life. Our life becomes abundant when we flow with the higher qualities of life. Your natural birthright is to flow with the abundance, for that is the divine wish for us all. Only one thing can stop you from receiving open-hearted generosity from source: your consciousness. Only one thing can stop you from receiving open-hearted generosity from source: your consciousness. The flow of abundance is directed towards you, but your thoughts, beliefs, memories, and levels of deservingness create barriers to receiving it. So these are the barriers: our thoughts, beliefs, memories.
I don't know of late whether it is a coincidence or what. Every book I am reading is bringing Mahavatar Babaji into picture.
Yeah, because in Unified we learn this.
I know.
Because they always say abundance, you're abundant, God's thought, one of the God's thoughts. Yeah. If you have a beautiful rose bush in your garden with a creeper sucking out in its life force, it is not abundant. If you have a beautiful rose bush in your garden with a creeper sucking out its life force, it is not abundant. It may glow with glorious flowers for the moment, but they will not be replaced unless you remove the creeper that is stopping the flow of vitality. A good gardener will remove the plant that is strangling the rose bush so that it can continue to flower gloriously. It is up to you to remove the beliefs that strangle your abundance. So these are strangling or blocking. Love is about enjoying all your relationships. We block our due abundance of love when we close our hearts. The creeper of our beliefs and fears about rejection and hurt gets a strange fold on our heart. The creeper of our beliefs and fears about rejection and hurt gets a strange hold on our heart.
No, it's a stranglehold.
Oh, stranglehold. Okay, sorry. Stranglehold, correct. That means it is holding, stranglehold. It causes us to cling to relationships or to withdraw. We stop loving when our mind takes over and we see the imperfections of the other. Then we connect ego to ego. Oh, we stop loving when our mind takes over and we see the imperfections of the other. Then we connect ego to ego. Your ego is the fear of your lower personality, and this forms boulders that blocks the flow of love. Wonderfully written. Being in love is seeing the divine in another and connecting the soul to soul. This allows our passion to flow. A couple in love, a mother loving her new baby, colleagues sparking each other with ideas, friends immersed in the same interest, all glow with love. Everyone around them smiles, for there is no more magnetic energy than being in love. Source is love, so there is no shortage. Love flows from the heart of God to all of us, so open your heart for an abundance of love. Success is a state of mind, not a particular achievement. Success is a state of mind, not a particular achievement. When your all is focused on reaching a specific goal, there is a moment of elation at the moment of achievement. Then you have set to another one and strive again. Wow. See that
keep moving. Don't become stagnant. Don't stay at that moment.
Correct. When you achieve something, you enjoy it and move on to the next one.
I need to mention one book here. See, there was one Father Robert Sculler. He is the man behind the Crystal Cathedral in New York, which he started building with $1. He had only $1 when he envisioned that. So he wrote 2 beautiful books. He says, failure is never final, success is never ending. And I mean, just look at the title. And the other he wrote also was very interesting. He said, tough times never last, but tough people do. Right. And I have a wonderful experience. I bought these 2 books in Churchgate in Bombay. No, sorry, not Churchgate, VT Station. Because as you walk towards the station, you have a number of platform books. I don't know why these 2 books, that day I was in a foul mood. I found these 2 books, bought them, and by the time I reached Thane, that's where I used to live, I had finished both the books. And next day I started implementing it in my work life. What happened was, we had a target. We were on the 25th of March. And 31st March, our target we had to achieve in those days was, I think, 7.5 crores or something. 751 lakhs. We were sitting at 480, just slightly above 50%. So our boss called up and said, you do 500, I will consider you have done 7.5. I mean, I felt insulted. That is why I was in a foul mood. Right. I read this and you won't believe it. Next day onwards, I don't know what happened. I pushed the entire team of about 48 people saying, we have to do the target. Do you know where we ended up? 8.5 crores.
Wow.
Right. So, I mean, that gave me that amount of motivation, these 2 books. If you get it on the net, please pick it up and read. Very, very motivating books. Tough times. Yeah.
Please mention them one more time, that those books, please.
Tough times never last, but tough people do. It is written by Robert H. Sculler.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, when
Please,
you listen to the recording, you will get those two names.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chandraguru.
Okay. Yeah. So let's continue. That is the power that is hidden.
Yeah, so success is not about trying to push a river, which just leads to stress, frustration, and lack of self-worth. Abundant success is about flowing with life, taking advantage of the currents, and enjoying your journey. So it is not about trying to push a river, but you need to, without stress and frustration, you need to enjoy in the flowing of the life. True success is a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. I remember visiting a friend who refused to allow anyone to look after her even though she was ill. When she recovered, her friends told her how frustrating they found this. She shared how much she had wanted to be nurtured and cared for, but somehow could not bring herself to let it happen. Independence is a wonderful quality. However, it is also appropriate to let people into to nurture us. It is part of the give and take of flowing. The more we allow ourselves to receive, the better we feel inside. Then, feeling full and content within, we are genuinely able to nurture others. When you consistently eat nourishing meals that keep your blood sugar level balanced, you don't crave sweets. When you allow yourself to be nurtured regularly, you don't yearn with neediness. When there is a natural in and outflow of caring and nurturing in our lives, we feel balanced and abundant in love. As below, so below, as above, so below. Wise earthly parents will give you what you want when they think you are ready for it. No wise parents give a beautiful and delicate china doll to a toddler because the child is quite likely to smash it or pull out its hair. This will not be malicious, but simply because the child is not mature enough to take for such a gift. However, much the toddler clamors for a china doll like her sisters, the parents will wait until they judge her to be ready to care for the doll appropriately. It is the same in the heavens. However much you clamor for the abundance you seek, the universe will not bring it to you until you prove that you are ready to accept it. Wow, what an example. So until you are ready to accept it, the universe is not going to give it to you.
Another way of what Patrici says, right?
Yeah.
When the student is ready, teacher appears.
Ready, the teacher will appear. Correct. The law of abundance is very simple. If you want more friendships in your life, be friendly to others. See, that's what when you give it, you attract it more. Pull out the boulders of suspicion, boredom, or hurt that have blocked your flow of friendliness. If you want more happiness in your life, remember that the thoughts, beliefs, or memories that make you feel sad or past, they have no reality at this moment. Practice smiling. Wonderful. If you want more caring and nurturing in your life, remove the barriers that stop you from receiving it. When you are open to receiving, people around you will automatically nurture you. Material things flow to you when you have abundance consciousness. Material things flow to you when you have abundance of consciousness. Abundance is your
actually
birthright.
a reflection of what the Bible says. You see, the Bible says, "Seek ye the kingdom of God, and the rest will be
Followed.
come unto you.
Yeah, correct.
Rest will be tied unto you." That
Yeah,
is what it says.
seek the kingdom of God within you,
Yeah.
and then then your everything will Abundance is your birthright. Open up to receive it.
Beautiful.
The law of clarity, chapter 12. When you are totally clear about what you want, everyone picks up your messages accurately and responds accordingly. So we had to have the law of clarity. A young man I know named John managed to string out a relationship with his girlfriend for a long, painful time by giving her mixed messages. He would go to see her saying he just wanted to be friends and then would stay the night. If she needed him to help with her children or around the house, he simply could not say no. He would say to all his friends, "But I have made it perfectly clear that I am not interested." They all told him he was sending mixed messages. It certainly was not clear to Anita. She absolutely adored him and was ready to read that he loved her into everything he did or said. It took over a year for her to realize that he did not want a committed relationship with her. She suffered a year of anxiety in a push on off situation, which really knocked her confidence. And then she still had to go through the grief of the separation. During that time, her psychic energy was tied up in worry, false expectations, and anger. His energy was tied up in anxiety and guilt. Lack of clarity ties up psychic energy and keeps you in confusion. Clarity frees you to move forward and opens new doors. Paul had lived.
A beautiful sentence.
Yeah. So lack of clarity ties up psychic energy in confusion. Clarity frees you to move forward and opens new doors.
A very, very powerful sentence, because see, there are many people who are trying to get their name of their higher self. But they are not able to get it. Why? Because of this simple reason. Right?
Clarity. There's no clarity.
You should post this. You should post this in that group.
Yeah.
Paul lived.
Paul had lived with Jenny for years. Jean or Jenny. Paul had lived with Jean for years. At first, they had been very close, but for the past 2 years, he had felt quite alienated from her. He was seeing someone else with whom he was very much in love. Jean suspected this and raged at him constantly. He wanted to leave her, but he simply could not tell her the truth. He told me that he could not bring himself to tell Jean that he did not love her anymore. The result was that Paul, Jean, and his new lady were metaphorically living in a muddy pond, and no one could see a way out. The future was full of confusion. It was only when Paul made the decision to move out, no matter what the consequences, that clarity became possible. Jean at last knew where she stood. She changed her job and met a new man. Paul felt free at last and able to breathe for himself. He decided to live alone and give himself space to find out who he was again. His lover gave him the space he needed, with the result that it freed her energy to focus on her studies. Clear decisions moves you from stuckness to freedom. When we were worrying and our thoughts are going around in circles, when we are worrying and our thoughts are going around in circles, imagining every possible outcome, we are in the dark. Imagine there is a light that switches on over your head when you are ready to do something. If you are considering starting a business while you are still examining the possibilities, the light is off. As soon as you are clear that you will do it, you say, "This is the business I intend to start." The light over your head switches on. Wow. This is the light of intelligence.
Correct.
The moment you make a clear decision, a light goes on over your head. The power that be in the universe sees the light and aligns behind you to manifest your vision.
Beautiful.
If you are out walking in a thick fog, you can very easily move off your path and get extremely lost. You may go around in circles regarding people, situations, or your own personal anxieties and have no idea which direction to go in. There are two ways to activate the law of clarity. If you have wandered off your path, are lost, frustrated, and cannot see which way to go because of the thick fog, wait patiently until the sun clears the fog and you can see where you are. Then the direction becomes very clear to you. If, on the other hand, you are in a basin where there is permanent fog, with the result that you have been walking around and around in circles for a long time, make a decision to move in any direction. Okay. So you have to make the decision to move.
The rules of the game to win it.
It is imperative that you make a decision, however fearful or difficult, but you feel your way carefully until you are in the clear. The word decision comes from the Latin decidere, meaning to cut off. A decision cuts you off from the other possibilities. Okay, so once you make a decision, you are sticking to that and cutting off from the other possibilities. You must then focus on the route you have chosen. The quickest way to move along with your spiritual path is to make clear decisions and implement them, and clarity opens doors to the future. Truthfulness, honesty, genuineness, and integrity are qualities of clarity. Other people pick this up and respond to you because they trust you. Speak clearly to the universe about your wants and needs. If you mumble or do not know what you want, you send a jumbled message to the great warehouse in the sky, and many receive some surprising things you did not think you had ordered. Clear thoughts and intentions draw from the universe that which you require in your life. Never forget you are a master. It is your right to order what you need and to expect your order to be fulfilled. Wow. Clear thoughts and intentions draw from the universe. Clarity is the first step to freedom and the achievement of your heart's desire. Wow. Clarity is the first step to freedom and the achievement.
Powerful sentence.
So, 13th chapter, law of intention. If you want to go swimming, you can be deflected. If you intend to swim, you will overcome all obstacles in order to fulfill your intention. Similarly, the person who intends to write a book is much more likely to succeed than the person who hopes to write one. Intentions are more powerful than wants, wishes, or hopes. Intention releases a force that makes things happen. Imagine an archer. He pulls his bow back and holds its intention as he aims at its target before unleashing the arrow. Whatever your aim in life, if you gather the energy and sight at your target, the might of the universe is unleashed behind your vision. Even if you do not actually accomplish your intention, you have set a powerful force in motion. A man told me that he had been owed a sum of money for some considerable time. Week after week, he procrastinated about taking action. Because he was a compassionate person, he could see the other person's difficulty. However, one day he decided he was going to pursue the money. He intended to go for it. That afternoon, he wrote a clear letter to the lady with the outstanding debt. Half an hour later, before he had mailed it, she phoned him and said the check would be in the mail that day. He received it the following morning. If you intend to send someone healing at a certain time, the force goes out at that time, whether or not you do the absent healing at that moment. Let me read this. If you intend to send someone healing at a certain time, the force goes out at that time, whether or not you do the absent healing at that moment.
Absent healing is distant healing.
Distant healing. The power of intention was clearly demonstrated to me recently. I held an angel day in London. Our intention was to create a great column of light so that angels could access London through this high vibration, then spread love and light through England into the world. Because angels are high frequency spiritual beings, they find it difficult to lower their vibration sufficiently to enter dark places. They can access such places more easily when we build bridges of light for them to move along. Before the event, people called me from all over the world to say that individually and in groups, they would be tuning into Angel Day to add their energy. There is an Angel Day in London.
No, just relate this. We are reading about Angel Day on a day which is Deepavali.
Oh yeah, correct. Lighting day, correct.
Yeah.
Because that light, which is nothing but love and light of the God.
Correct.
This was during the height of the war in the Balkans. Elizabeth, a mutual friend, told me that Tom Spencer, the Euro MP, would be in Macedonia on Angel Day itself. He is chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the European Parliament and intensely involved in the affairs of the Balkans. She contacted him. These are his words. I and my committee had watched the tragedy unfolds and were determined to do what we could do to help. I therefore arranged a conference of the call of chairmen of all the foreign affairs committees, and for 2 days parliamentarians from 12 countries, including the Albanians, wrestled with the fear which grips the region. At lunchtime on Sunday, we piled into a bus to return across the mountain to Skopje, the capital of Macedonia. I had forgotten, in the pressure of events, my undertaking to Elizabeth and thus to Diana to concentrate during Sunday afternoon on the Angel Day meeting, and the Angel Day meeting taking place so many miles away in London. The bus dropped some of the participants in Skopje, but many of us drove northwest towards the Stankovic camp. Stankovic camp. The afternoon was grey and cold. The bus edged in its way across fields to the barbed wire perimeter. Desperate groups of Albanians already living in Macedonia were shouting through the wire to try and establish contact with the relatives and friends inside the camp. The camp had been built in immaculate. What is it? No. The camp had been built in immense speed by British soldiers, 50,000 people existing in immaculately erected lines of white tents. The Macedonian government, fearful of the destabilization of its own fragile unity, was insisting that the new waves of Kosovar Albanians should not merge with their own Albanian. See, they are separated, one group of Kosovar Albanians from the rest of the Albanians. So they were insisting that the new waves of Kosovar Albanians should not merge with their own Albanian population and were guarding the perimeter. The atmosphere was both physically and emotionally dark. The smell of 50,000 people with few washing facilities was overpowering. The anxious faces on both sides of the gate told the story of the terror of the previous 3 weeks. Attached to the wall of the hut that had once been intended at the site of a new airport for Skopje, scraps of paper and list of names told the story of a whole population desperately trying to find each other after the Holocaust of expulsion. It's similar, yeah.
Let me add you one more thing, Balama, Chandraguru. So I was a United Nations peacekeeper that war. I was there that time.
Okay.
32
My
years
God.
ago. So I was there. So I related because of this story. Thank you. Please go
Oh
ahead.
my
Thank you.
God. As the bus nudged its way through the crowded gate, a real sense of dreaded enveloped us. What should a suited politician say in the face of such suffering? Silently, we clambered out and walked into the crowds. We were swamped by a sea of anxious faces asking for news, for advice, and for hope. For half an hour, the litany of ghastly stories poured forth, each story told with immense dignity and an extraordinary lack of anger. Relatives murdered, families broken, lives upturned. In small groups, we wandered down the immense aisles between the tents. Then something wonderful happened. The clouds cleared, and extraordinary light suffused the camp. Suddenly, it was a warmth and pleasant evening. The atmosphere came to resemble a cross between an agricultural show and a promenade so typical of the Mediterranean. In the corners of the camp, flags flew over the military hospitals established by the Germans, and Taiwanese, and the Israelis. The four-wheel drive vehicles of a dozen charities crawled through the drying mud. Wow. By now, the camp was alive with people walking arm in arm, talking as if their lives had merely been disturbed for a brief moment. There was laughter, there was warmth, there was dignity. A NATO helicopter flew over. A Kosovar journalist spoke to me of the extraordinary kindness of the British soldiers who had built the camp. They worked 24 hours a day and yet still had time to smile and play with the children. The mood of the camp was now almost exalted. Young men were playing basketball, women sat in corners talking of the future. The great camp, with no central organization, moved and heaved like a great single entity. The stark beauty of the mountains, which before had seemed so threatening, were now bathed in the light of the setting sun. We climbed back into our bus and left the camp, full of determination and hope. I, full of determination and hope. I and half a dozen colleagues were put into a mountaintop hotel, looking down on Skopje. In the distance, you could see a few lights picking out the perimeter of the camp. Only then did I remember my commitment to Angel Day. I checked the timings and it was absolutely precise. I had done nothing other than be there, but I have no doubt that the light knew what it was doing. Wow.
No, he's talking about the power of intent. Beautifully explained.
Power of intention, correct. So that power of intention, that's so strong, it took place without even he completely forgot. He just had that intention and forgot. I believe that Tom Spencer's intention to anchor the light created an entry point for the bridge of light we were sending out from London. Many angels took the opportunity to use it. Never underestimate the power of intention. A lady told me that she had not lost touch with her brother. They had quarreled some time ago because she did not like the fact that he was to marry again. She never met the new wife but prejudged her. Several years passed and she began to regret the things that she had said. She did some personal development work and realized that her bitterness about her brother was eating away at her and making her ill. At last, she made the firm intention on letting it all go. One evening, she sat quietly and talked to her brother as if he was in front of her. She told him how sorry she was for all that she had said and wished him much happiness. That night, she had a very vivid dream in which her brother came to introduce his wife to her. They smiled and told her they were very happy. She woke She woke feeling happier than she had done in years, knowing that even if they never met again physically, all was well between them. Wow. That intention also made her to get a dream and then reacted in the dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intention is taking into consideration when assessing karma, the balance sheet of our thoughts and deeds with its inevitable consequences. A child runs out into a road in the path of a car and is injured. Does the driver bear karmic responsibility? It depends on his intention. If he was driving sensibly, he does not. He has attracted lessons and possibility of an initiatory incident to test himself. On the other hand, if he was drunk or angry or driving carelessly, he does bear responsibility at a spiritual level and will have to repay in some form. If someone has evil intent, for example, if they are focused on hurting, harming, or creating a havoc, a black mark is earned in their soul records. They are unleashing poisoned arrows. It does not matter whether they actually perpetrate the damage or not. The intention has gone out into the universe and been noted. When your intentions are noble and honorable, even if your plan does not come to fruition, you will be rewarded for the purity of your ideas. Wow. So the noble intention has a benefit. There is an expression: the road to hell is paved with good intentions. This means that the arrow has been aimed, but the string has not been pulled back and held in tension. There is no energy, therefore nothing happens. The arrow does not fly. Sometimes the aim is wrong and the arrow misses the target. The Sanskrit root of the verb sinnen means to aim at a target and miss. If your intention is clear, but nothing seems to be happening, you may be held up for a reason. Imagine this: you are looking at your target. You have held the bow up and aimed, but an animal runs in between you and the target. The watchers are shouting, "Wait!" You drop your bow, wait, and start again. There is always a higher reason for holding back. If I ask for guidance, my angels and guides often say, "What is your intention?" It is the intention that signals the rightness or otherwise of a project or an idea. Make sure that your intention do not come from the ego, but are for the highest good. Universal energy supports its intention. It is the basis of manifestation. A mission statement is the intention of the organization clearly sets out. Reading the mission statement aloud at the start of meetings keeps the target in the sights. Wow, this is interesting. Reading the mission statements aloud at the start of meetings keeps the target in the sights. Research indicates that companies who do this before business meetings achieve their objectives more quickly and completely than those who do not. So they had to read out the
statement. Wipro is a perfect example of this. Wipro is a perfect example. Yeah.
An intention is like an arrow in flight. Nothing can deflect it. So aim carefully.
Intention. Do we go further or do we wait?
What is the time? Oh, another 9:40. Let me see. What is it? 11:10. Oh, maybe another 15 minutes I can do. Then I start cooking. Yeah. The law of prosperity. Every parent wants their beloved child to have what they need. The divine source, Father, Mother, God, is no different. You are a beloved child of the universe. It is time now for you to claim your divine heritage and be prosperous. Some things hold you in lack and others allow you to prosper. Take a plant. If you put it into an inappropriate soil in a place that is full of slugs with too much or too little water and sun, would you expect it to flourish? If you constrict its roots and space for growth, never feed it or constantly replant it, you will expect it to perish. So, you plant it in the good soil with enough water and sun. You give it freedom to grow and the safety to establish itself. You also protect and take care of it. You encourage it to flourish. The spiritual law that causes you to wither or flourish are the same. An helpful mindset is like poor soil, and an unhelpful mindset is like poor soil. If you believe you do not deserve prosperity, that is like stony ground. Wow. If you believe you do not deserve prosperity, that is like a stony ground. A belief in yourself is like rich, fertile soil. Fear and apathy, fear and apathy dry you up, while enthusiasm, joy, expectation enable you to expand. Express yourself creatively. Give yourself freedom to develop. Cultivate your gifts and talents. Your prosperity will flourish. Oh, this is a very good sentence. Express yourself creatively. Give yourself freedom to develop. Cultivate your gifts and talents. Your prosperity will flourish. We draw from the universal pool according to our consciousness. You either have poverty consciousness or abundance consciousness. In previous lives, many aspirants have been in religious orders where they have taken vows of poverty. This was appropriate then, but if it is still active now, it is not serving them, for they will feel guilty about having money. If you suspect this applies to you, pray for the release of the vow or vows to make an appointment with the spiritual therapist who can help you to release them. Oh, you can also release the old vows. Most old souls do not value material things to the same extent as younger souls. This is understandable because they have chased after the material in past life and know it to be illusory. Sometimes they lose the plot and feel that material things are not spiritual. Far too many nice people think it is ungodly to have money. Quite the reverse is true. Yeah, some people, especially in
See,
Buddhism,
far too many nice people think it is ungodly to have money. It is wrong.
yeah,
Money is required, but money is required to how much? That clarity
correct.
should be there.
And also, when you have money, you should be able to help others.
Yeah.
The most, a little light on the spiritual laws. The most spiritual thing is to have money and use it wisely with love. Huge fear underlies poverty consciousness. Huge fear underlies poverty consciousness. I receive frantic, terrified letters from people who are at their wits end about their financial situation. All their available energy is tied up in their focus on lack. It is not spiritual to keep worrying about money. Greed is financial indigestion. It is the equivalent of being invited to a buffet and piling your plate up high with more than you could possibly want to satisfy your hunger. It makes you ill or somehow blocks your energy. If you hoard money in the bank without letting it flow, you eventually tell the universe that you don't want more, and eventually it stops sending. He who knows he has enough is rich, says Lao Tzu, Taoism. The spiritual ideal is to have enough and know that is plenty. There was a man with a chip on his shoulder who was always complaining. He was lazy and he felt unworthy. He missed opportunities because he did not believe in himself. He was unhappy and poor. If you are mean spirited, rigid minded, and tight fisted, you will never feel content or happy. For poverty consciousness is an attitude, or happy. Or see, if you are mean spirited, rigid minded, and tight fisted, you will never feel content or happy. For poverty consciousness is an attitude. So that means whatever you feel, you're attracting that. Those who are generous hearted, open minded, and giving will always be content and happy. Their attitude of prosperity and consciousness will ensure this. The legendary Paul Getty was rich beyond most people's imagination. He was worth billions and was surrounded by material riches, but he lived alone and in constant fear of loss. He was a rich man with poverty consciousness. Wow. So many of the prosperity means having a sense of financial well-being. Many of the pharaohs and countless great and wealthy rulers have been highly evolved masters who have undertaken the responsibility of richness. The lessons of prosperity is to use riches with wisdom. Wealth bestows responsibility and power. There is a well-known story about a wise and bountiful ruler. The king had 4 children whom he adored. Eventually, they grew up and went out into the world to explore and seek their fortunes. Their father hoped they would all return one day with experiences to share and new knowledge and wisdom. Years passed, and the king began to think they would never return. Then one day, a ragged beggar appeared at the gate and announced she was his daughter. On being told of this, the horrified king rushed to the gate to discover it was his child. How have you sunk to this? He cried in distress. Come in, my beloved daughter. He brought her into the palace and ordered new clothes and banquet in her honor, but she would have none of it. She did not think she was worthy of his kingdom and preferred to spend her days begging, whining, and complaining outside the palace gate. Her father was devastated. Some time passed before a young man appeared at the palace gate, stating he was the king's son. Overjoyed, the father hurried to greet him and again ordered a banquet and fine clothes. To his constant, to his consternation, his son appeared to have forgotten his birthright. The king found him scrubbing steps like a servant. His son said he was unworthy to receive the bounty of the kingdom. His attitude was totally servile. He had to do things all the time to justify his keep. His father was distressed. Months went by until one day a beautiful lady in a carriage drawn by 6 white horses entered the gate, announcing she was the king's daughter. She was taken to the king, who was overjoyed that his beloved daughter had returned at last. She enjoyed the banquet and all the finery of being a princess, but when he asked her to help him with his work of ruling the kingdom, she said no. It is your kingdom, father. You run it. She wanted bounty without responsibility. The father was deeply concerned. Finally, the 4th child returned. He was a fine young man with clear eyes and strong face. The old king rejoiced to see him. The young man enjoyed the banquet and the abundance of his position as his father's son. He toured the kingdom. Then he said to his father, I have returned with new ideas and suggestions. How can I help? My son, replied the king, I wish you to rule by my side and take the responsibility with me for the kingdom. Gladly responded his son. His father smiled and relaxed. He was delighted. Wow. True prosperity comes when we accept our bountiful birthright and the responsibility and power that this entails. Think, speak, and act as if you are prosperous, and you will impress the universe to send you plenty. This is a very good quote.
Very good quote. Excellent quote.
Yeah. Think, speak, and act as if you are prosperous, and you will impress the universe to send you plenty. Wonderful.
See, that is what we miss in our approach.
Yeah, correct. See, that is why one thing I learned after coming.
Sir, that sentence is there now, fake it till you make it.
Correct. See, if you keep thinking you are sick, that's what you attract.
Yeah.
But if you have to keep thinking that, oh, you are always happy, you are always healthy and happy.
No, there
That's
are
what
two sentences which are very interesting for me. One is what I posted here.
Yeah, clarity.
That group, that is really mind-blowing. See, lack of clarity ties up psychic energy and keeps you in confusion. Clarity frees up you to move forward and open new doors. Now,
Correct.
if we really look at what we are doing in our unified meditation about trying to get the name of higher self, right? This plays a crucial role because that communication is psychic in nature. It is not physical.
Correct.
But I have a question here, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, if we think clarity, with clarity, we can free up the energy. But we have to have the awareness that we, to even think in that terms, right? So what if we are not even aware? We're just stuck with our repetitive cyclic thoughts.
But Ratna, are you not contradicting yourself? What is clarity? Enunciate.
Having a clear vision about whatever the issue is.
So if you have that clarity, you will get it.
That's
how do we come to that extent?
No.
My point of view. Let me listen. Let me explain. As long as you think God is someplace, okay, God is not within you. You don't have the clarity, full clarity.
Exactly.
No, I'm not talking about in spiritualistic terms, ma'am. Just take a general thing. Any example? Say like I got an opportunity for a new employment. So I have to think whether it is good for me or not good for me. Some kind of confusion around, right? Like every incident in our life, we get some second thoughts and a confusion associated with it. So how do we even approach the clarity into that?
Then you say you have an intention that if it is a good one, if it is a good fit for me, please come to me.
Question: why did the opportunity come to me?
If it is a good fit for my position, for my individual, for me, if this job is a good fit for me, please, I'm attracting. Please come to me.
So we have to use other laws to, prior to the law of clarity.
There are totally about close to 40 or 50 laws in the universe, right? You need to know all of them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you dig deeper to get the clarity. See, suppose Kumar goes and purchases a 100 feet TV. Okay. Now, I need to know why I want a 100 feet TV. If I am not clear and I try to attract a 100 feet TV, I will be in trouble. Why do I want it? Do you have your why, where, what, when, who very clearly defined so that the how can take place?
So one should have that minimal awareness prior to that.
Exactly. That is clarity. Why am I doing it? How am I doing it? All those things in clear picture is clarity.
Correct.
Sir, I want to add it here. If you are not getting a clarity, then you have to, then you need to think that there is a something you have to give and take. Okay.
No.
That is the flow. That is the flow.
See, if you have to simply give me, what is it अगर आपको clear नहीं है तो आप क्या attract करोगे?
नहीं, उसके साथ में आपको ये भी तो देखना पड़ेगा ना सर कि what is missing here when you are not getting a clarity on something. Okay. Like
dig deeper to define your clarity. No?
Exactly. So you need to do the dissection of the everything. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. We need some kind of introspect
Exactly.
or
Yeah, I will
yeah,
not
prior to like
introspect. I will not use the word introspect.
why
See,
not, sir?
give a very practical example. I told you about my dream,
Hmm.
right? I saw some lines when I was trying to do the Akashic record. Correct? Then I went deeper digging. What is that I saw?
Hmm.
Then I got the picture of the universe. Right? You have to dig deeper till you get the clarity to say this is what it is. Then you are clear. Then you place the intention for.
But
Sir,
that is what
यहाँ पे भी ना-
introspect, right?
That
sir,
is not.
यहाँ पे भी ना, Chandra sir,
See, introspect is when you are going into why, but putting all the why, where, what, the 5 W's and 1 H together. H you need not bother because they are putting the responsibility on the universe. So how you will get it, you don't bother. But at least have the clarity of what are the 5 W's.
सर मैं
Okay.
यहाँ पे एक और शब्द डालना चाहूंगी.
हाँ.
जब तक टाइम नहीं आता ना, you don't get the clarity. You get entangle yourself into that kind of a maya or something.
Philosophical. Then where is the use of your intention? Okay, ma'am.
But are we meeting tomorrow because of Deepavali?
I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. Okay.
I will announce by tomorrow afternoon.
Sure. Okay, thanks a lot. I enjoyed.
Sir, you can
Diwali,
stop the
ma'am,
recording.
in case you don't stop.
Yeah,
by
we can
tomorrow.
stop. You can stop the recording, Andy.